Hello everyone, my name is Greg Henniger, Community Manager on H1Z1.
And I am Adam Clegg, Game Designer on H1Z1.
Yeah, and today we're going to be doing a work in progress. This is going to be our first work in progress, a series we're going to be doing. So
your first stream
for
SOE.
Yeah, that's correct. I am new here, and I'm going to be your guys' community manager. Very stoked about it.
Follow him on all the Twitters.
Yeah, you see my Twitter handle right there.
Bother him, don't bother me.
Yeah, or turn.
Oh,
turn
that music though. Okay, let's see. Turn the music down.
Is the music too loud?
Come on, guys.
You can probably do it right here.
I'm just gonna do it on this because it's probably better. I had a feeling it was gonna be too loud. Let's try that. Let's try that.
How's that sound? All right, awesome. So you want to just tell them a little bit about what work in progress is going to be like?
Yeah, if you guys have never seen work in progress, it's a thing that we did for PlanSide 2, and now we're bringing it over to H1Z1. And basically, you get to watch us work on whatever we work on. So if I'm a level designer, you're going to get to watch me build levels, and if you're an environment artist, you'll get to watch them, polish up the terrain, and if they're making art assets, but basically, you basically just see us work behind the scenes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I am a level designer, and I'll be working in H1Z1's world. And if you want to just get right into it, actually, we can
let's check it out.
Look at what we're looking at. So this is a small area of the map. And you can see over here, it's kind of built, kind of like a little residential area. Mm-hmm. And everything you guys see, this is all really early, and it looks actually, the colors look kind of washed out. Let me see if I can actually go to the actual better sky file so it doesn't look so, that's a lot of fog. Okay, so I can actually see a little better here.
People are still talking about the music. Is that a little better?
Uh-oh.
Turn it down a touch.
Okay, yeah, turn it down. Sorry, but we'll figure it out, but in 5 minutes it'll be perfect.
Yeah, we wanted to give you like a mood,
yeah.
Set the tone.
So you can see over here, there's kind of a little residential area over here. And if you look over here, there's nothing, right? So we're going to actually build this out. And since this is work in progress, something that we like to do here is we'll let you guys basically tell me how you want to build it out, which is going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to be working in tandem with you guys, excuse me, in tandem with you guys to help build this area out. Like these houses obviously aren't working anymore. We're going to just get rid of those. But the first thing I should do is check these files out, because if you don't check the files out, then anything that you save doesn't actually save when you check the files in. So I'm going to check the files out really quick. If you actually want to go to camera, you could talk a little bit about what you're going to do on community.
Oh yeah, make sure you guys check out the let's see, want to go to main camera?
Main camera so they can
okay,
they can hook you up while I do this mundane task of checking out files.
Okay, yeah, make sure you check out our subreddit. It's reddit/r/H1Z1, and that is where you guys can put in a lot of your information. We are in there constantly checking it out. There's a lot of really awesome threads going right now. Yeah, so I mean the developers check in all the time.
Yeah, sorry, this shouldn't take too long. But yeah, basically, we're running a pretty open development cycle. So if you have ideas on there, you can let us know, and we look at it all the time. So also, Greg's going to be working with looking at the chat as well as he can, and he's going to be asking you guys things that you want me to do in the game as I'm building it. If it gets out of hand, too out of hand, we might do some straw polls or something. Yeah. But it should be fun. We're going to just build a bunch of crazy things.
Yeah, and these work in progresses are a little bit different than, let's just say, a regular, H1Z1 stream where we're doing kind of a Q&A about anything and everything. The work in progress is, we're going to be taking your suggestions and putting them into the game right now.
Pretty neat, right?
Yeah, so that's pretty awesome. We're all going to build something together.
If time permits, I want to actually build something unique with you guys in the editor, more than just a residential area. But we will see how well this goes. How long it takes us to build out this residential area. Is this the thing that I want? Sorry guys, this is like, that's not the one I want. But yeah, it should be just a couple more seconds here as I check out the right files.
No rush. Don't worry.
There's
no hype over.
There's no one watching, and no one's watching this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But There we go. What are people saying? Talk to me.
People are saying a lot of stuff. They're enjoying your beard.
Oh, nice.
First and foremost.
Do you guys like it? I was gonna get rid of it, but I figured it was Apocalypse, so might as well keep it, right? All right. It looks like we're good. If not, then I'll just lose all my work, and that'll be cool too, right?
No big deal.
No big deal.
No big deal.
Cool. All right. So, Greg, where should we start?
All right.
Ask the chat. Ask the chat. Let's ask the chat.
All right. Let's push it back.
Let's start
over
this
to TC.
interactive. So, we want to make it like a residential. Okay. These signs or these streets actually have signs, and so this is actually, you know, Oak and 3rd, right?
On the corner of Oak and 3rd.
And this one's Oak and 2nd. You know, so it's actually supposed to feel like a real street of residential areas.
Right.
So which quadrant? I guess I should say. Pick top left, or sorry, northeast, north, southeast, northwest, southwest.
North, south,
North
east.
by southeast. Let's see what people are saying. School, prison, or mall. That's not a place to start, guys.
The school quadrant.
The school quadrant. So I know people want to build like police stations and schools and stuff, which we already have in other areas, but this is mainly supposed to be a residential area. So we're going to try to build it.
Suburbia.
Northeast, northeast, southwest, north. Okay, I'm going to start northeast. Northeast. Of this direction of what I'm looking at, because real northeast is probably actually facing the other way, but whatever, right? So let's start over here, which is a cool little cul-de-sac. So we have awesome houses. We have pre-made houses that I can just plop down, or we can probably prop out a house. Let's start by actually framing our residential. So if the street's coming down this way, the houses need to kind of face a certain angle, right? So they should be facing outwards into the road so the cars can get in.
This is like part city planning, part level design.
You'd be amazed how close level design is to real life, especially working on a game like this. Like, it's amazing. Like, I'm constantly on Google Maps, like zooming in Street View, and I'm like, oh, that's how they do it. Okay, that's interesting. So we have pre-built houses here, right? So like if I place a house right here, it already has, you know, all the stuff inside of it. And what you're seeing right there is potential item placements for spawning. So like, I don't want to get too much up in how the spawning system works because I want to keep it on level design, but basically things can spawn there, and we're having that throughout our entire game. But this is already a pre-built house, right? And I can just put it here. But I also have, I have a lot of these too. Like there's this one and it has a little cool cardboard on it. But I also have shells of a house, which we can then go in and build ourselves. Let's see, let me go to my structures.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions specifically about the level design, toss them in the chat, and I'll relay those over to Adam.
I'm seeing stuff like house backyard, sidewalks. People still spamming fire department. Guys, you're not going to have the fire department right next to Timmy and Johnny's house. Okay.
Which one does Timmy live in? The one on the right?
Let's see. Which one? Left? That's Timmy. That's Johnny.
Yeah, that seems right.
They're always trying to keep up with each other.
Keeping up with Timmy.
One of them had a Sega and the other one had a Super Nintendo, and then they shared each other's experiences in gaming and became best friends for life. That's the lore that I'm creating for this house. Structures, houses. Sorry, this is actually more complicated when you're like talking and doing 50 things at once at the same time. So let me lay out some houses. Wow, there's a lot more than the last time I checked. The artists have been busy. So these ones that are black aren't textured, which means they don't.
That was a big house.
Yeah, maybe we should put like a big mansion somewhere. I don't know.
Right on the other side of the street, so they always have to look at that giant mansion.
Wow, why are these all like... There's so many. Okay, here we go. Small house. I found them. We're good. So we have... Let's pick one that you guys want to actually prop out, because that's actually going to be pretty fun. That one's cool. This is actually like a lake cabin type thing, which will be in the game.
It's up on stilts.
Yeah. All right, guys. Pick a house. Any house.
All right, so we got the green house, the blue house, yellow house, brown house,
red house.
And I guess, yeah, red house.
And we have this one, which we'll lay to. Two-story.
Ooh.
We'll also
that's just tempting.
Yeah, we're gonna do that one anyways. Let's see what do you guys want.
All right, so what are they voting for right now? What we're gonna spec out on the inside of the house?
Yeah, well, the house that we're gonna place, and then we'll go in and blue. Oh, Green, blue, blue, dabba dee, dabba die. All right.
Seen a lot of blue.
All right, let's do that.
Blue house is popular.
Let's do that.
Everyone's very sad in the blue house.
All right. So let's actually fix. I actually don't mind placing these here, but we got to figure out their driveway situation, their sidewalk situation. Like, how much room should we give them? There's a lot of things when placing. One does not simply just place a house.
Terrible.
There are things that you have to think about. It looks like this house has a little side door, right? So this side door wouldn't just go right onto the street. We're probably going to have some kind of a backyard, side courtyard thing. But I would imagine that the front of the house is actually pretty close. Let's say that
close to the street.
Closer to the street. I mean, not too much of a driveway.
How much time do you spend, like, just getting it just right?
Good. Our PR manager's talking to us now. She's not her PR manager.
Hi.
Sorry. She's our. What are you? She's our brand manager. We're good. We're awesome.
Pepperoni pizza, maybe?
Yeah, a little pepperoni pizza. You know, some
In-N-Out.
That would be sweet. Nice. Awesome. All right. What are we talking about?
I was saying, how much time do you spend, like, getting it just right? Like,
oh, I'm a perfectionist. Like, I'll like zoom in like this and be like, nope, it has to move 1 pixel to the left. But for the most part, you can kind of just eyeball it until you get like this whole thing filled, and then you can go in and kind of like fix it up, right? Yeah. So let's start. How long of a driveway should they have? Let's see.
This is Timmy's house, right?
This is Johnny.
Oh, that's right. Timmy's the one with the carport.
And so you guys can see the flora, but like I can turn it off, right? Turn it off and on. I like to leave it on for now so I can see
that the lawn's gone to hell.
Yeah, well, actually what we can do, I'll explain this now since this will probably get asked a lot. I can paint dirt like along here. Sorry, I can't point. I use my mouse. I'll paint dirt along here, and when I paint dirt down there, the flora actually won't show up anymore. So if I paint dirt underneath the house and you go in the house, no more flora will show up in the house. But since the train editor shows it right now and it doesn't actually update until I re-export it, I'm just going to turn flora off for now. But just realize that we're in the editor, and the editor doesn't actually reflect everything that's in the game. Like, one thing that you notice, actually I should go over this anyways. One thing that you notice is the lack of trees right here in this area. That's because the way our tree system works is it doesn't render them real time in the editor.
And deforestation's a big problem in H1Z1.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just know that what you look at in here isn't 100% of the real game when you log into the game, because when you log into the real game, you'll see trees, you'll see more flora, things like that. So
all the fine details.
I'm just putting that as a disclaimer.
Where are the trees?
For now, you're seeing like raw building game design.
Perfect.
Cool. Got it?
Let's do it.
Good. All right, so I'm going to turn the floor off because it's easier for me to work with the floor off. So how much driveway should we give this guy?
Well, think? He's got a 1-car garage.
You're the expert. Come on, tell me.
I'm the expert.
Yeah, dude. This is how
manager,
I work.
you're level designer.
All right, so I would say, well, let's get a car out there for reference, right? Scale is key in level design. So we actually have 2 really cool ways to reference. One of them is by a car. Another way, which is always the most fun way, in my opinion, is by an army man, a green army man, right? Who doesn't like green army men?
That's pretty cool.
So it's a good way to be like, you know, it's very obvious. It stands out. If you see it, you're like, oh, that's not supposed to be there. Delete it.
Right.
That's why we do that. And then we also have cars that we use, and cars are a little easier to it doesn't have to be some crazy green army man. But let's see. Where's my cars? Static vehicles. Not that one. Anything cool in the chat?
Let's see. There's a lot of questions not about level design. And no, and we appreciate your questions, of course.
Yeah, no, the questions, you know, if there's one that you see that you just want to throw out there, I don't mind it, but you know, I'm not going to be like dropping bombs here.
Right. There will not be a
there will not be a massive bomb being dropped.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. But let's see. You gotta talk to me here.
How many original houses are you planning on creating, or will we see many of the same model of house?
we actually have a lot of. So this door is not going to be blue, by the way. Just an editor thing. We have a lot of houses planned, actually, and already made. So you saw like the 5 that I had right there, plus a 2-story, plus there was that mansion thing.
Right.
We have more coming in every day. As we go into early access, you'll notice that our game updates will update all the time with new art and new things that we build into the game. So I would say a really good amount, actually. A lot more than I'm used to be honest. It's cool working with a lot of variety of being able to have all these houses. And it's not going to feel like, you know, you're seeing the same thing everywhere. But when you really look at houses, like if you drive down a street and you looked at a bunch of houses, they pretty much all look the same. You're not really worried about, I mean, like for color and stuff. The color variation in America isn't very big on houses. I know it is in other countries.
San Francisco, man, all those houses are brightly colored. Will different areas of town have different styles of houses, like the rich area of town, like the
we're gonna try to. We can do that here actually with this. I mean, if we really want to, we can actually make this section over here, that's closer to town, be the better housing. You know, you have to suspend disbelief at some point because we can't recreate exactly square inch of a whole entire town.
Right.
Because we're trying to make it feel like a small town anywhere America type thing, and that popping in, that's just an editor thing that doesn't happen in game. But we're doing a lot of cool stuff. Sorry, I gotta focus on building this.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine. I'm trying to grab some questions. Do you have all the things for like playgrounds and things?
It's actually a good
kind of like little props that will sit around outside of buildings to kind of designate them as like schoolyards or houses. And
yeah, that's something that we're gonna get as the game keeps growing, like as the artists keep making more things for us. But like right now, they're making things that we can use to build the world at a large scale. So like, I would much rather have this wood plank, or I would much rather have them make me this chain link fence, right? Than like a little toy.
Or a teeter-totter.
Or like a teeter-totter.
Sure.
Yeah, because I can use these chain link fence and this wood to build much more of the world than the little teeter-totter. But, you know, once we're early access and we can actually make our game look a lot more defined, like every day as I work into the terrain editor, sure, I'll be like, hey man, it'd be really cool if I could get a special fountain.
Right.
And then I can put a fountain in this backyard.
Like, so this is kind of the larger scope kind of things.
It's kind of like, I mean, our team isn't very large, so it's kind of like a big bang for, or what's the word I'm thinking of?
Bang for your buck.
Bang for your buck. Yeah, I couldn't know how to phrase it. It's like that. Like, what's the best bang for the buck?
Right.
That's what I was trying to say. And like having the artist make me things like a chain link fence or a 2-story house, as their time's much more utilized. Because then once they give it to me, I can you know, place it in a lot of different spots, which I'm gonna do right now because I've decided that Timmy and Johnny are neighbors, but they're separated by a chain link fence.
Oh, that's too bad for them.
Oops, I didn't mean to move that. I think this is a good distance. What do you think? That's
pretty
good,
seems about right?
That's about paperboy length.
Just a little path going up to the front door.
Like, well, I can mess it. I can do the driveway and stuff like that, but that's pretty good. If you're driving, and you know you're turning in, and driving down the road, and you're like, oh, this is where I live. Boop. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good distance.
Good enough. So I'm gonna put this little.
And that's how it's done, folks.
And that's how. So we're done here.
Calling it a day.
You can be a level designer. All right.
So you're putting a fence between the two houses?
I'm putting whoa. Sometimes it does this. There we go. Okay. So I'm putting the chain link fence between the two houses. By the way, you'll be able to break these chain link fences in game with certain weapon types. Like, you won't be able to like punch the chain link fence down.
Right.
But if you have like a machete or like a crowbar, you'll be able to like smack through it and then go through. So there's certain objects when building in level design, you have to understand gameplay at the same time. So you have to realize, okay, well, I'm building this, but what does this mean for the player? Can the player get through this area? Do I want them to get through this area? In a residential area, I don't really mind if somebody just wants to go ham and just like kill all the chain link fences like as they're running away from zombies. I think that actually feels pretty cool. So
this is the same level designer engine tool for PlanetSide 2 as well?
This is the same editor that we use for PlanetSide 2. It's the same engine. And it's just it's the same, but it's a lot different in a lot of ways, if that makes sense. Just because you don't really work the same way. Like PlanetSide 2 is an alien world, so you can make crazy sculptures with the terrain that you wouldn't be able to do in, let's say, you know, an American town. So stuff, just even though you're using the same tools, the way you build the world is a lot different, at least from my experience being on this team and from being on PlanetSide 2. I have to rely a lot more on realism in this game than in PlanetSide 2. I could rely on sci-fi, right? And nanites, and you know, oh, this is why it's like this because of that. But in this game, you have to like, it has to feel a little more real. Yeah.
So there's been some questions in the chat. I know you mentioned like Google Maps and like checking out streets and layouts and things like that. What have been some of the other go-to reference materials, I guess?
I honestly don't know how they made video games before Google Images, because I use that all the time. No, I mean, just life experiences, just from watching movies or playing other video games. I can't recall how many times I've thought about an idea that I played in a video game. Sometimes most recently, because it's fresh in your mind, but even like pulling back from like Super Nintendo days or 8-bit days, even before that, where I'm just like, you know, that really worked in that game, and it was really cool, and I could probably put that in this game. But you're always pulling from stuff. So like whenever your parents tell you that you watch too many movies or TV shows or play too many video games, just tell them it's market research, because one day you're going to be a game developer.
Tell them Uncle Clegg told you to
tell them Uncle Clegg to tell them Uncle Clegg that if they want to talk to somebody about video games, they can talk to me.
Yeah.
You're doing just fine. So let's see. You know what? I'm actually going to give them a little... I'm going to make this... They're going to have a little front yard thing. How about that? I'm feeling generous. Let's give them a little... So here's the driveway. The chain link fence would actually come up to the...
up to the road?
Up to the road a little bit, right? Maybe a little bit of sidewalk.
There's got to be some sidewalk there.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I forgot. Let's add sidewalk. We can do that. So... I won't do the whole stream of the entire residential area, because this whole thing would take us a long time. We'd be here for like 24 hours.
Yeah.
And as down as I am for a 24-hour stream, there's no way we're not going to be able to do that. So I'll build out a small part of this neighborhood and then see how long we are on time, and then move on to another cool event that I want to do with the chat.
We got a question from Venture On. As a level designer, do you have the ability to deform terrain, make hills and mountains, or is that somebody else?
Well, I can actually do stuff like this. Watch.
Whoa. All right.
So
there's your answer.
There you go. Now that's a little... This is what I was talking about, between like PlanetSide 2 and H1Z1. Like H1Z1's a real world that we're trying to manipulate here, but so we can't do stuff like this, but I can. See, look, I can do this, and I can like make this little peak up here.
Now we're in like close encounters.
But that looks crappy, you know. Close encounters, yeah. But yeah, I can manipulate the terrain. But like over here, like an artist definitely put the river here, and they painted this up to make it look like it's, you know, a valley into this
rock face,
and then this bridge, and they manipulated all this terrain to do this. You know, put all these rocks in here and stuff, and it looks really cool. Look at this. Is this the one that has the toilet? Yeah, look at, there's a toilet. Oh, check the toilet for loot. Don't forget, kids. Oh, there's a vehicle spawn right there too. I hope you guys are taking notes.
Yeah, keep that secret, guys.
So, yeah, I can manipulate the train.
Cool.
Let me figure out this sidewalk situation. I've only done sidewalks in our game so far for like restaurants and like gas stations and stuff. I haven't done a real true sidewalk with residential, so this should be fun. Let's see. So I can line this up here by using the X, Y, and Z axis. Oh, that didn't quite work. Let's see. Here's what I was talking about, perfectionist, right? So I gotta go in and like perfectly set it up and make sure this is the right height.
So you guys showed in another stream there was kind of a snap functionality when putting when you're barricading things. I guess.
The snap functionality works when these two objects are exactly the same size or similar size. So like if something's 2 meters and this one's 4 meters, then I can snap to 2 and then do it like that.
Right.
When they're not exactly the same size, it's faster for me to just put them together and to figure out the math of how are these things going to snap together type of thing. Oh, maybe I want the wide one. You know, I'm going to place all these sidewalk pieces out here so I can actually look at... this will help me figure out which pieces I want to use rather than reading, you know, props underscore sidewalks underscore driveway underscore red 2.
Right.
You know, so this is...
Do you know what the artists are using to make those textures? What program or?
Well, what we do is we get them from a third-party source called TurboSquid, and then they take that that object, I guess, and then they make their own mask for it, their own texture, and kind of make it feel like our game. So if we need, you know, curbs, then they probably got the curbs. You know, some of them are made by the artists themselves too. But it's for like this house. If we wanted a house model, then we would have got it from TurboSquid and then went in and touched it up, you know, type of thing. It's faster when you have a smaller team to do something like that than to actually have the artist just make the assets from scratch, all of them.
Sure.
You know, we're trying to do things efficiently here, which is a smart way to do it.
What's the size of the team?
I don't know if we've officially said what we are. I honestly don't know the number, but I know that we are a smaller dev team.
Okay.
So it's nothing crazy. Like we're not running like a 300-man squad here. You know?
Right. Right. Is there a difference between the blue and the green loot spots? I know we're not going to talk too much loot, but we're going to see them.
Yeah, I don't want to explain the whole system.
Yeah.
There is a difference, but how we've defined we haven't finalized what the differences are yet, or what we're going to do in each one. But the different colors help us